All right, there's a serious warning that most newly sober people do not adhere to, okay? I myself did adhere to this because I don't know why. I was so beat down and desperate towards the end, I was gonna do anything anybody said to get sober. Anybody can do this. I'm not special, but it is very hard. If I could do this in the state I was in, and towards the end, when I came into new sobriety, I had 2 pairs of pants, no ID, was doing an exorbitant amount of drugs and alcohol every day, and I was living in a homeless shelter, and I was able to adhere to this warning. So anybody can do this. What I'm trying to warn you about, do not sleep with anyone new for the first 9 months of your sobriety. Now, most people think this isn't a big deal. Well, what's the big deal? You know, and by the way, let me clarify, new. If you're with someone, don't just say, I'm not sleeping with you anymore. Nothing like that. But don't seek out sex that first 9 months. Most people do not think this is a big deal, but let me tell you what I think is happening. I have seen disaster strike from every form of this. I have actually never once seen it work in the thousands of meetings I've been to and the thousands of people that I've attempted to work with, where you start sleeping with people in that first year, 9 months, whatever, and they're still sober. So it makes sense that you would want to do that, guy or girl, whatever. You would want to find a partner and have sex because it's a brand new life. Everything's been ripped upside down. You've usually had to give up your friend group, your social life. You don't know up from down. You're lonely, you're scared, you're fully depleted in chemicals. Your dopamine's effed up, your oxytocin is effed up, your serotonin's not working properly. And so now, here's a nice attractive person with the same walk, fighting the same battle as you, and you guys share common peril. It makes sense that you're gonna link up. Here's what, well, let me explain why people do that. So you're immediately gonna have a place to fill your time. You're gonna be able to transfer the obsession that you were focusing on alcohol and drugs onto this person. And it's going to replenish chemicals that you have damaged from using and drinking. It's going to give you oxytocin, 100%. It's gonna give you dopamine. It's gonna give you serotonin. The problem is, those are not sustainable from that source, getting them from other people. And so what ends up happening is the initial oxytocin wears off. There's no more dopamine when that text, they send that nude. It becomes routine, and now you're in the same place you were when you wanted to get sober. I have a tool I'm using that is not working anymore. Oh crap, what do I do? So a lot of times, and it leads people back to drinking and using, because now the fix of the sex or even the companionship or the emotional connection is not sufficient to fill that hole that drugs and alcohol were filling, which is a lack of ability to be content with yourself and to be present and still. It's just too painful between your ears. I understand. But the problem with that is most people that are newly sober are they're in shambles. Nobody's talking to them, and so what happens is that relationship almost never works out. I'm sure there's exceptions to this. I'm just saying what I saw. And now you've created more wreckage. Now you've damaged someone, you've hurt their sobriety, so you're ashamed. You've got an amends to make, and now there's a person that you can't interact with and you're trying to avoid. So if you're going to AA meetings and things like that, or NA meetings, whatever, SLA meetings, now there's a person that you don't want to interact with. You've just limited a tool of your sobriety that you're using in whatever form. Or say they're at a coffee shop. Now I can't go to this coffee shop. Point being, you have another piece of wreckage that you've added onto the tidal wave of wreckage that you've been running from for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. And now you've stopped running because you're not doing the alcohol and drugs. But what happens when you stop running? The tidal wave catches up, it slams on you, and you don't know up from down. It's painful, it's terrifying, you feel alone. So let's go ahead in that state and sprinkle in some of the most complicated things you can, a relationship between two people. So please don't sleep with people that first 9 months. And it sounds hard. And I got sober in my 20s, okay? Like the first time, that was a lot to ask. If I did it, you can do it, okay? And so what that does, if you wait the 9 months, that's about how long it takes for the systems to rebuild themselves. If you're 12, 15 months in and you're still having withdrawal symptoms, that's a whole different ballgame. That's called something, I don't know what that's called, but if you wait 9 months, you're back to your natural form, and hopefully you've found some way. Well, I guess this ends the video. Yeah, so don't sleep with newcomers, guys. And sorry about the leaf blower. Have a good day.